Top 10 missing criminals that haven't been found yet. With time, it's gotten harder and harder to escape the police. Technology has given the authorities a huge advantage over criminals and unsolved cases. Nevertheless, there are still a few suspects, killers, and prisoners that went missing and to this day have never been found. What if a criminal from your city was reported missing? Wouldn't you feel unsafe wandering the streets knowing you could run into a wanted thug? So without going any further, welcome to Now Trending, and today we bring you 10 missing criminals that haven't been found yet. Before we start, we'd love it if our viewers could hit that subscribe button to support the channel so we can continue making videos like this one. Thank you and enjoy the video. Number 1. Charlie Chopoff. A killer who operated in Manhattan from 1972 to 1974, Charlie Chopoff killed 5 children and was given his nickname due to his practice of committing genital mutilation on his male victims. The prime suspect was Erno Soto, who was arrested by police in May 1974 after trying to abduct a young boy. Soto, a mental patient from the Manhattan State Hospital, confessed to the 1973 murder of 8-year-old Stephen Cropper. Unfortunately, Soto was never directly linked to the murders and was declared unfit to stand trial, although the murders did stop after his arrest. But the real Charlie Chopoff was never found nor even identified, and until today, nobody knows who he is or where he lives. Number 2. William Bradford Jr. William Bradford, who had served as a diplomat overseas in numerous posts in Africa and Europe, was expecting a promotion. On March 1st, 1976, Bradford was informed that his promotion would not happen. He left work early that afternoon and never returned. When police were notified and entered the home, they discovered numerous blood splatters and marks consistent with blows administered by a blunt object. William, his wife, his 3 children, and his mother-in-law were not present. Eventually, the police would find and identify 5 bodies as William's family, but he wasn't with them. His car would eventually be found hundreds of miles in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This was the last time any specific physical evidence related to William was located in the United States. Although he has been cited 3 times in Europe, he has eluded capture for 41 years. If still alive, as of 2021, he would be 85 years old. Number 3. Alexis Flores. On August 3rd, 2000, the body of 6-year-old Ariana DeJesus was found in an abandoned building in the Philadelphia area. Before being strangled, her killer sexually assaulted her. Eventually, through items recovered at the scene, Ariana's murder was linked to a Honduran immigrant named Alexis Flores. Flores was arrested in Arizona in 2002 and 2004 for minor offenses. Despite serving jail time before his deportation, he was never associated with this crime in Philadelphia. Eventually, Arizona entered Flores' DNA profile into the federal DNA database, and they discovered a connection to his crime in Pennsylvania. As of October 2017, he is on the FBI's 10 most wanted list and is possibly living in his native Honduras. Number 4. Roberta Solis. Heather Tallchief was discovered driving an armored car in Las Vegas, Nevada. Authorities confirmed she had over $3 million in the car and was seen refilling ATMs at several casinos before vanishing with the cash. But the police later discovered this move was part of a bigger criminal plan. The investigation revealed that Heather had met Roberta Solis, a convicted murderer and thief, and the two began a relationship and together planned the perfect crime. Heather eventually surrendered in 2005, having left Solis when she learned she was pregnant with his child. She claimed she had been brainwashed by Solis and wanted her son to have a normal life. Heather served 63 months in prison, but Roberta Solis remains at large. Can you imagine going that deep with your partner? What would you do if you discover the person you love is a wanted criminal? Let us know in the comments what you think of this. Number 5. LB Hars. LB Hars is a convicted child molester wanted for the rape of a 12-year-old child in South Carolina in 2000. He was previously convicted of molesting his own 7-year-old daughter, Terry Hars, who grew up and decided to live with her father. The father-daughter duo sexually assaulted the 12-year-old girl in South Carolina together. This is without a doubt one of the most disturbing stories on this list. Not only did he abuse his own daughter, but the two of them decided later to abuse someone else too as a duo. Truly disgusting. Terry Hars was arrested shortly after the repeated attacks were reported to police, but LB Hars has been on the run ever since. He is currently in his early 70s and is one of the FBI's 10 most wanted for crimes against children. Number 6. The Long Island Killer. A killer who operated in the Long Island region for at least 20 years from 1996 to possibly the present, and with anywhere from 10 to 17 murders linked to the unknown suspect, the Long Island Killer is one of the most recent American serial killers to go unidentified. Authorities know very little about the suspect, speculating that he is likely a white male in his mid-20s to 40s with a lot of knowledge of law enforcement operations and techniques, which would explain how he's managed to keep on evading the police. The last identified victim, who may or may not be a victim of the Long Island Killer, was Natasha Dugo, whose body was found washed up on Gilgo Beach on June 24, 2013. Would you visit Long Island knowing a killer is walking the streets? Let us know in the comment section if you change your mind about Long Island. Number 7. Brian Laundrie. Brian Laundrie is without a doubt one of the youngest persons on this list since his case is the most recent. Brian Laundrie went on a vacation with his fiancée, Gabby Petito, and returned without her. Within 10 days of Gabby being reported missing, Brian went missing as well. Gabby's body was later found in a national park in Wyoming. Specialists affirmed the cause of her death was strangulation. Although there isn't any concrete evidence that Brian murdered his fiancée, everything seems to go in that direction. Brian disappeared on September 14th of 2021 and remains unfound to this day. Could you imagine leaving your daughter with their fiancé to later find out he murdered her? This is truly a devastating case. Number 8. Robert William Fisher. On April 10, 2001, Robert William Fisher shot his wife in the back of the head, stabbed her, and slashed the throats of his 10-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter. He then disconnected the gas line in his home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and set it into flames. Fisher's wife had informed him that she intended to seek a divorce, a suggestion he clearly found objectionable. Fisher's car was eventually found a few weeks later in a national forest, 90 miles northeast of Phoenix. He is a survivalist who purchased camping equipment only days before the triple homicide. He's currently listed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list. The case of Robert William Fisher baffles police to this day. In April 2021, it'll be 2 decades since the start of one of the biggest manhunts in FBI history. Number 9. Victor Gerina. Victor Gerina was working as a 23-year-old Wells Fargo armored truck guard when he overpowered his 2 co-workers and fled with over $7 million in cash. One co-worker claimed that Gerina said to him, "I've got nothing against you, I'm just tired of working for other people." It turned out that Gerina was working with another entity, the Puerto Rican terrorist group known as Los Macheteros. Gerina was smuggled out of the US and into Mexico. From there, he's believed to have eventually reached Cuba, where he's supposedly hiding out today. Gerina holds the distinction of being listed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list for the longest time, that's 32 years and 2 months. Before we get to the end of the video, we would love it if you could leave a like to get that algorithm going. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Number 10. Jack the Ripper. He's the most iconic serial killer for a reason, which is primarily because he was never caught. Jack the Ripper is often credited with jumpstarting Western culture's serial killer fixation, and it's pretty easy to see why. The Ripper murdered at least 5 women in the impoverished Whitechapel district of London in 1888, and the media frenzy surrounding the case contributed greatly to public obsession, ignited as it was by a series of letters sent to police by the killer, including the infamous From Hell letter that inspired related modern fiction of the same name. In all, there are now well over 100 theories regarding the Ripper's identity. Thanks for watching until the end. This was Now Trending's top 10 missing criminals that haven't been found. Leave a comment with what you think happened on this couple's road trip. Thanks again, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.